Hello, check. All right, people, I believe we are finally live. Welcome back to The Alchemist by Unacademy. My name is Pahul. And if I'm audible and visible, please write you in the chat box. You know the drill, yes? But yeah, so let me adjust the camera a little. थोड़ा सा टेढ़ा हो गया camera, I think, है ना? Just a second, let me adjust it properly and set the focus. चलो, I think this is fine. और बताओ दोस्तों, what's going on in life? So some people are asking that, sir, the very next episode of Atomic Structure is the atomic spectrum. How are we going so fast? You'll get to know. And the second thing is, Manaswini was asking that when will the syllabus be completed on this channel. So for 11th class, the syllabus will go till the end of December, maybe even January, okay? And for 12th class, we will try to cover the syllabus in the mid of December itself, okay? So that's the plan that we've got till now. Baki time batayega kya hota. Fine. So people, first thing that I would love to tell you before we start the class is that there are test series running on Unacademy. One is called Unacademy Combat, the other is called IIT T20 test series. Only 2-3 days of this are remaining, so please enroll right now so that you can take the advantage of all the tests that are there in this series, okay? The biggest problem that a lot of students face is they don't get to practice questions. But we at Unacademy take care of that. There are a lot of free tests available on Unacademy's platform. You can join the test series as well. The link is in the description box down below. And whatever you want to enroll in, okay, the code that you have to use is my name, P-A-H-U-L, Pahul. Use this code wherever you are asked a code on Unacademy. Use this. You will get lots of material for free. You will get a lot of discount on the subscriptions as well. Fine. Then there is an offer running which has its last day today, okay? That if you buy 1 year Unacademy subscription, 3 months are for free. And if you buy 2 year Unacademy subscription, 4 months are for free. All right. So the offer ends today. This is a very good value for money offer. And a lot of people ask me, sir, why Unacademy? Why does Unacademy make sense? See, the thing is that at Unacademy, we have a lot of courses. For every subject, for example, physics, chemistry, mathematics, for each of these subjects, we have more than 1,000 courses on the platform. Okay. Now, what's the advantage? That the advantage is there are lots and lots of teachers on the platform and you can learn from whatever teacher you want. Okay. The courses are available in all sorts of languages. Fine. And that's the beauty of the platform, that you can choose. It's not like you're enrolling into a course and then they throw you into a batch and you have to attend that batch. No. There are options open all the time. You can study from anyone who's on the Plus platform. I'm starting a course on organic on Plus in the next month. Okay, June mein shuru karne wale hain course. And you would be glad to know that people like N. Awasthi, V.K. Jaiswal and M.S. Chauhan, the books that I generally recommend, those people are also teaching live on Unacademy. Even DC Pandey sir is there on Unacademy Plus. So in case you want to join, in case you want to join and use the maximum benefit, if you enroll for 1 year, you're getting 3 months free and the cost for 12 months is less than 3,000 per month. Sounds unbelievable, but that is true. We've got really good, reasonable value for money propositions for you. Make sure you check it out, explore, and in case you want to enroll, PAHUL Pahul is the coupon code that you can use for the maximum discount. There are 2 types of subscriptions. One is called the Plus subscription, which is the normal one that you can take. Iconic subscription, we will allocate a personal mentor to you as well. Apart from everything else, apart from live classes from any educator, direct contact with the teachers, you know, and test study material, etc., everything. Apart from that, if you want a personal mentor, you can go for Iconic subscription. Fine. So these are the prices. You can check them out when you are, exploring the application or when you are going through the website. Code again remains the same, PAHUL Pahul. ठीक है? चलो जी. So Instagram pe I'm there and I'm also there on Unacademy. Of course. So if you follow me over here, you can actually send me messages and ask me questions and you will be updated about my free live classes that I do on Unacademy. Chalo, theek hai? So in the previous class, people, we had talked about the Crookes tube, isn't it? cathode ray experiment, Crookes tube, etc., cathode rays properties, and then I had told you that this particular point, point number 7, I will discuss in the next class. Do you remember? Yeah. So please stay with me. Today we are going a little faster than the first class. Please make sure you're attentive. Okay? ठीक है? चलो. So cathode rays ionize the gases through which they travel. What does this mean? What do you mean by the word ionization? Let me give you a very simple image. A lot of you gave me the answer in the previous class. Okay? In the comment section of the previous class. That is really commendable. But let me quickly tell you as well over here on the board what that exactly means. Let's say there is hydrogen gas. Okay? We have hydrogen atom. Now hydrogen atom, if you remember, has one electron in it. Yeah. Has one electron in it. Now in the previous class we've understood that these cathode ray particles are nothing but electrons because they are found in everything. Since they're found in everything, these are fundamental particles of nature and we call them the electron. ठीक है जी? Now the thing is that the electron, okay, will come at a high speed. This is the cathode, let's say. Yeah, the electron will come at a high speed from this cathode and it will hit the hydrogen atom. Once it hits the hydrogen atom, there are two things that can happen. One thing that can happen is this electron hits this particular electron and replaces it. Okay. ये electron इस पे टकराया, electron hits over there and replaces the existing electron. So what you might get, okay, what you might get is this hydrogen atom and now this electron sits over here, but the electron that was here is now moving forward towards the anode. Yeah. This is one possibility that can happen. Very unlikely. It's very unlikely. When will this happen? When the energy of this electron matches the energy of the electron inside the hydrogen atom. So this scenario is an unlikely scenario. What happens is, and you will get to learn about this a little more when we start the Bohr's model of the atom, what happens is that the energy of this electron is very high. Okay, the energy of this electron is very high. So what it does is that it simply uproots this electron. So यहाँ आपके पास what you get is hydrogen with a positive charge. Yeah, positive charge is inside the hydrogen. I hope you remember that the proton remains inside the nucleus. So you get H positive, which is also called a proton because it's just a proton. Yeah, and you get this electron moving towards the anode, and you also get the original electron that was coming from here moving towards the anode. This guy loses a little bit of energy for sure because it is using that energy to take away another electron from hydrogen. Yeah, but it loses some energy, still it moves towards the anode because electrical circuit is complete. Yeah. So now my dear friends, do you realize that this H positive is an ion? This is what we mean when we say that the cathode rays ionize the gas. Okay. RN is saying why unlikely? Unlikely because the energy of this electron should match the energy of this electron if it has to replace it. I'll give you a very, very weird scenario. Have you guys seen Rick and Morty? Manaswini, don't worry, I'll tell you. Has any one of you seen Rick and Morty? If you haven't seen Rick and Morty, then whenever you get the time after your studies are done, make sure you watch Rick and Morty. It's there on Netflix, I think. For those of you who know Rick and Morty, you would understand this example. You would understand this reference. Otherwise, let me tell you. Let's say you want to replace yourself in your house. Let's say you are someone who does not like staying in wherever you are. You want to replace someone else in your place and go away. If you have to replace yourself, you would need an exact clone of yourself. So that, your parents don't realize that you are gone, your teachers don't realize you're gone, your friends don't realize you're gone, but you are doing something else altogether. Yeah. So Do you agree that situation is extremely unlikely? I would say impossible. Because finding someone that is exactly the copy of you is next to impossible in this universe, isn't it? So, same thing over here. This electron should have the exact same energy as this electron. Now, since both of them are electrons, they are twins, but their energies are different. Yeah. So, if this electron were to replace this electron, you would need same energies. That's not the case. It has high energy. Travel कर रहा है. इसको टकराएगा, लेके निकल जाएगा. Okay. Fine. Tanish has seen the episode 5 in the morning. Yeah. Cool. Anyway. So that's the point. Okay. Why replacement is unlikely. So what happens is this scenario, you get an ion and you get both the electrons traveling towards the anode. Now do you realize that the cathode rays are electrons? Cathode rays or electrons come out of the cathode and they also come out of the gaseous molecules. Yes, for simplification, I've written single hydrogen over here. If you realize there would be H2, and from H2 there would be an electron that goes away. So you would get H2 with a positive charge, which can break apart into H positive, so on and so forth. So just for simplification, okay, let's not go into this level of detail because it's unnecessary. It'll only create confusion. So the thing is, for simplicity, I have simply taken hydrogen atom over here. There will be H2 gas, of course, but I've, for simplicity, taken hydrogen atom. Okay, fine. I hope that doesn't bother you too much. So, the cathode rays originate from both the cathode and the gaseous molecules. Okay, fine. Now, one thing, can you tell me in which direction will the H positive ion travel? Will it go towards the left side or will it go towards the right side? Can you tell me which direction would H positive follow? फटाफट से बता दो, okay? I'll reduce the timeout of the slow mode because there are less people in the class today, and I think every day the number of people will keep on reducing because only a very few people are serious about studies. Sai is saying left side, Kavi is saying left side. Yeah, Genius is also saying left side, Manaswini left side. Absolutely, yeah. Because this is a positively charged cation. Cations are attracted towards the cathode. That's why the nomenclature, cathode, cation, so on and so forth, yeah. So this guy is going towards the left side. My dear friends, if there is a particle that's going towards the right hand side and we call it the cathode ray, we call it the cathode ray. Why? Because it travels from the cathode towards the anode. This guy is traveling from the anode towards the cathode. What should we call it? This is called cathode ray. What should we call this? Cathode ray. Anode ray. Saurabh, absolutely correct. Yeah. So while doing the experiments, just so that things sound symmetrical, just so that things sound like they belong to each other, सिर्फ नाम अच्छा सुनाई दे इसीलिए, this is cathode ray, this is anode ray. Anode rays do not come out of the anode. Okay, anode rays do not come out of the anode. ठीक है जी, anode is there, it's completing the electrical circuit, it's good, let it be. But anode rays do not give rise to, anodes do not give rise to any anode rays. Anode से कोई anode ray नहीं निकलती है. What we call anode rays, for simplicity, are these ions that move towards the cathode. Understood? Fine. So there is cathode ray, there is anode ray. Cathode rays are electrons, anode rays are the positive ions of the gases present inside the tube. Okay? So that positive ion could be of anything. It could be of hydrogen, it could be of helium, it could be anything, whatever gas you take. Yes? Fine. And Kavi is saying, does anode ray account for the discovery of protons? Yes, it does. Anode rays do account for the discovery of protons because the simplest anode ray, the lightest anode ray is H positive particles. H positive particles are what? Protons. So the discovery of electrons was via cathode rays. The discovery of protons was essentially via anode rays. Yeah? Anode rays are different for different gases, of course. Yeah, but we took the simplest of them all and we called them a proton. ठीक है, चलो ये बढ़िया हो गया. Now we understand the cathode ray experiment entirely. Now I have a few pieces of self-study for you. Why are these self-studies? See, I believe in efficient preparation. I do not believe in wasting time on things that are not important. Okay, so there are lots and lots of topics in this chapter which I can teach you, but it is useless to teach you those topics because those are not really asked in any examination whatsoever. ठीक है, मैं पढ़ा सकता हूं बट कोई फायदा नहीं, अपन टाइम वेस्ट करेंगे, क्या फायदा है? That's why I will give you those topics as self-study. Okay, so self-study number 1, this is what you have to look for on google.com, Wikipedia, wherever. There are lots and lots of web pages that will explain this to you very well. Thomson's charge to mass experiment. Okay, please self-study, read about it. It is not important for the examination. Never have I seen anyone ask anything about this in the examination. Maybe in physics, in electricity and magnetism, there is one question related to it, but you will learn about it in physics itself. So for now, what you need to do is read about it. It's a self-study thingy for you. And of course, when you research for things yourself, it sticks in your mind a little better. Fine. Chemistry wala, we'll talk about decay later, man. Right now, I don't want to digress from whatever we are doing over here. We'll talk about different types of decay, alpha, beta, gamma rays, so on and so forth, in a separate chapter when it is necessary. Okay? Manaswini is saying, won't they come in CBSE exam either? I am pretty sure they won't. But that is why I'm telling you to do a little bit of self-study on it, just in case. Okay? And these are good pieces of information. And once you study them on your own, you will be able to understand them even better. Vimala Titan is saying, why does anode not emit rays? Anode is made up of metal. Anode rays would be metal particles. If those metal particles start leaving the anode will stop existing. Do you understand? So that's why. Yeah, those are very heavy. Those are nicely packed over there. Yeah, okay. Got it? Chalo. So Thomson's charge to mass experiment, this guy determined the charge to mass ratio of the electron in this particular experiment. Okay. So we got the charge to mass ratio for the electron from this experiment, so on and so forth. Fine. Okay. This is one part of self-study. Self-study 2 is Millikan's oil drop experiment. Okay. Millikan's oil drop experiment. This is something that you have to read about. Okay. A little bit of it is given in the NCERT as well, but there are very nice web pages telling you about the Millikan's oil drop experiment. Please read these. This is your assignment for today's class. Okay. This is your assignment for today's class. Sunil is saying, isn't cathode a metal? But electrons are not very tightly bound to the atoms. Do you understand, Sunil? Yeah. Since electrons are not very tightly bound to the atoms, electrons can leave the atoms easily, and those are what cathode rays are. Yeah. But anode rays would mean that the positively charged particles of the metal itself. The metal is heavy. Yeah. If you take iron, iron has a good amount of atomic weight as well. So first of all, it's heavy, doesn't want to move. Second of all, it's bonded very well. Yeah. Metallic bonds. The iron ka surface hai. Can I just put electricity over here and make it move? No. It's nice and rigid. What can move, however, are the electrons because they're very loosely bound. Okay. Nitin is saying the oil drop was very confusing in NCERT. Don't worry, Nitin. Just read about it. If you are not able to understand, in one of the upcoming classes, I will explain it to you. It's not that difficult. Okay. Ho kya raha hai? That there is a stream of oil on which there is a little bit of charge that we put, and then that drop is used to understand the properties of that charge. That's all. Okay. Bahut simple hai. So Sovan Banerjee is saying experiments are required for numerical. That's why I'm telling you to study them. Karo, khud se bhi kuch karo, please. Okay. Try to study things on your own as well. But rest assured that if there is something that you can't understand from any of these experiments, I will make sure I explain it to you in one of these classes. Okay, fine. Chalo, to ye kar lena, self-study is done. Now, coming quickly to the protons and the neutrons. Okay, protons and neutrons, the discovery of them, you don't need to study about them specifically. We'll just quickly understand logically what it is. Okay, the proton is Greek for first, and this name was given to the hydrogen nucleus by Ernest Rutherford in 1920. You don't need to remember that knowledge. Modified cathode ray experiments determined anode rays, as I just told you. Yeah, anode rays are what? Ions of the gas. And if we take ions of the hydrogen gas, H positive, then that gives us a proton. Okay? So proton is basically H positive, which is the lightest possible anode ray. Fine. Now we need to figure out what's the charge on it and what's the mass. Charge. What's the unit of charge? SI unit of charge is coulombs. Yeah? C. This is the SI unit of charge. Fine. So, what's the charge on the proton? Plus 1.6 into 10 raised to the power 19 coulombs. The plus sign is something that we humans have defined to differentiate between electron and proton, to differentiate between these two different type of charges that exist in the universe. Okay? Plus and minus is something that we have defined to differentiate between the different types of charges in the universe. There are two different types of charges. We could have called them charge A, charge B. Yeah? And we could have said that charge A attracts charge B, so on and so forth. But we call it positive charge and negative charge. Alright, that's the only difference between positive and negative charge. There are two fundamental types of charges that exist in universe. As simple as that. Okay? So 1.6 into 10 to the power 19. Very nice. Some people notice the mistake. 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. Okay? Very, very small amount of charge. Minuscule, infinitesimal. Very small amount of charge. 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. And can anyone tell me what's the mass in kilograms? What's the mass of proton in kilograms, if you guys remember? Saying it's not maybe, it's actually minus 19. People, whenever you notice a silly mistake that I've done on the board, point it out. Don't be shy. Okay. Manaswini, we'll do that later when we do the Bohr's model of the atom. We need to understand the things behind atomic spectrum to understand what is an X-ray. We need to understand photoelectric effect before we get into X-rays. Okay. Artist mind, those are, both of them are tests, different names, different scholarships, different times. That's all. Okay. Hanji. So Gurpreet Singh Kochar has, I think, taken the result from somewhere, but very good. 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kilograms. Yeah. Mass is 1.67. पूरा यहाँ से लिख देता हूँ. 1.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 27 kilograms. Taking care of the units is very important. In some questions, they will give you the mass in grams. तो grams में mass देंगे तो ये change हो जाएगा. This will become minus 24, yeah, in grams. But in kilograms, it is minus 27. 1.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 27 kilograms. Fine. This is the mass of the proton. Harsha, we are doing the chapter of the atomic structure. This is the second lecture. And you'll get to know what's going on. Sanjay is saying we won't be using the mass of proton frequently, right? In JEE, if there's one question that has the mass of proton and they haven't given you the value, all the best. So yeah, it's necessary to remember this. Fine. My dear friends, similarly, can we write the things about electron as well? Okay? Proton का तो लिख लिया अपन ने. Can we write the same things about the electron? Electron में the charge is equal to what? Is the same amount. The magnitude of charge on the electron is the same. It just has a minus sign. Minus 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulombs. Yeah. And what's the mass of the electron? Do you guys remember? Mass of the electron, फटाफट से याद कराओ. Anjali saying, what do we mean by charge of electron? The charge contained on an electron is the charge of the electron. I mean, Interesting. Sai, very nice. Rakshita, yo, what's up? Samir, old news, I've already told about it in some other session. Ashutosh is saying it's negligible. Yeah, it is negligible, but what is it? Yeah, 9.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 31 kilograms. Okay, again, minus 31 is kilograms. Okay, it'll be minus 28 if you take it in grams. So units are very important. Yeah, the mass of the electron is approximately 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 grams. Do you notice that this is very different? Yeah, it's very light, the electron. The electron is very light compared to the proton. Yeah, so whenever we talk about the mass of an atom, the contribution of the electron's mass is actually negligible. It's like comparing a 1 kg ball. Okay, let's assume you have a 1 kg weight in your hands. Compare that weight to the weight of this. ये पेन के ऊपर एक foam लगा हुआ है. Okay, there's a foam on top of the pen. Compare the weight to this foam. Okay, of a 1 kilogram block. This is negligible, isn't it? Yeah, that's the same idea over here. Fine, got it? So these values I suggest you to remember because they will be used in questions time and again. Let's move on to the next one, discovering the neutron. Okay, and the fundamental idea behind the neutron is, okay, the fundamental idea behind the neutron is that the mass of the atoms did not make sense. Earlier some scientists said that, okay, let's talk about helium. Okay, so helium will have 2 protons. Okay, and 2 electrons. Gives me a very nice neutral atom. But the mass of this did not make sense. Theoretically, the mass was as good as the mass of 2 protons. Electron ka neglect kar do. But practically, it was coming out to be the mass of 4 protons. Eh? What is this going on? So, because the neutrality of the atom existed, but it can't really be explained. The mass of it can't be explained by just protons and electrons. Therefore, neutron was discovered. Okay? Understood? You think that the mass would be just 2 protons, but the mass is actually 4 protons. So there are 2 more entities which weigh the same as protons, but they have no charge. दो ऐसी चीजें और हैं जो प्रोटॉन जितना मास रखती हैं, but उनके पास चार्ज नहीं है, and those things are known as neutrons. Okay, so it's remarkable that the neutron was not discovered until 1932. It's a very recent discovery. Yeah, 1932. It's not that old. Okay, it's not even not even properly 100 years old. Yeah, in the last century we have discovered the neutron. In this century, I mean, if you consider this and then 100 years back, I know you understand what I'm trying to say. It's a recent discovery. Yeah, so James Chadwick did the experiment and used the data of scattering to calculate the mass. What is that? You will learn about it later. Okay, you can check the article on Wikipedia for the discovery of the neutron to read more about it. Again, not going into the detail because it's not important for us. Okay, so the charge on the neutron is 0. There's no charge on the neutron. It's a neutral particle. That's why it's called a neutron. What's the mass of the neutron? Approximately the same as the proton. A little heavier than a proton. Okay, slightly heavier than a proton, but practically saying almost the same. Yeah, practically speaking, pretty much the same. Proton was 1.673, this is 1.676 something. Devesh bro, I'll talk about that later. There are infinite number of teachers of chemistry at Unacademy. You can learn from any one of them. I have started my syllabus just a few days back. ठीक है जी, ये हो गया discovering the neutron. Neutron is discovered, very nice. Don't forget the charge and mass of proton, neutron and electron. That's all that matters. Fine, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now my dear friends, let's discuss about the symbol of an atom. Okay, whenever, let's say this is the symbol of an atom. Let's say for oxygen, what's the symbol? Oxygen के लिए अपन symbol use करते हैं O. Similarly, let's say E is the symbol of a particular atom. This is generally represented with numbers next to it. Okay, there are two numbers that will be written next to this E, one on the top and one on the bottom. The number on the top is known as the mass number. And the number at the bottom, of course, is written as it is the atomic number. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you know what's the difference between these two. Atomic number is essentially the number of protons, okay? Or you can say it is the number of electrons in a neutral atom, but the better definition is number of protons. What's the mass number? Mass number is essentially number of nucleons. What do we mean by nucleons? Nucleons are things that reside inside the nucleus. So nucleons mean neutrons. Okay, nucleons mean neutrons and also protons. Okay, this is how we represent the symbol of a particular atom. Okay, just telling you because this symbol will be used in a lot of questions eventually. Okay, so just a little bit of information that I'm giving you. So for example, if I have to write about oxygen, yeah, oxygen के बारे में अगर लिखना है, what's the mass of oxygen, people? What's the mass number of oxygen? I am talking about the most usual isotope of oxygen. कितना होगा mass? What is the atomic number? Quickly tell me. Shreyan is saying number of protons is equal to number of neutrons. Shreyan, that is absolutely incorrect. Please never ever think about that as a fact. Number of protons are not equal to number of neutrons in most of the cases. Only in very simple cases like that of the oxygen. Okay, ठीक है? Number of protons is equal to number of neutrons, but in most of the cases, 90% of the cases, protons are not equal to number of neutrons. Okay, so please take care of that. ठीक है? So this is the symbol of oxygen. Fine. I can write a symbol of carbon as well. 12C6. Let me draw another symbol of carbon and you tell me what's the difference between these two. What's the difference over here now? How are these two carbons different? What will we call them? What will these two be called? What is the relationship between them? Shreyan, it's fine, man, but I wanted to correct that so that you don't make that mistake again. Okay? It's fine to make mistakes. I'm just here to correct those. That's what a teacher does, yeah? Rakshita is saying we want strategy for 2021 mains and advanced. I've already done that, Rakshita. There is a video on this channel. Just last week I've made that. Please check it out. Okay? ठीक है जी? So these two are actually isotopes. Do you guys understand what we mean by isotopes? Isotopes mean that you have different mass number but the same atomic number. Essentially the number of neutrons in these two species are different but they are the same atom. Yeah? ठीक है? चलो बढ़िया. So we know about isotopes. Elements with same atomic number but with different mass number are called isotopes. These are two examples. Yeah? थोड़ा color clear नहीं है, I think. I'll write it again on the board. Yeah. 37 Cl. Okay, this is chlorine. Fine? ठीक है? So 35 chlorine and 37 chlorine. Now the idea of relative abundance is a little bit confusing for a lot of students. Okay, when we talk about the ideas of relative abundance, it becomes a little confusing for students. Sir, what is this relative abundance? What is going on, etc., etc. Let me try to explain this idea of relative abundance to you using a very different example. Okay, I'll take a very different example and then I will explain to you what we mean by relative abundance. Okay. Shailendra is saying, why did you not start from some basics in chemistry? Because that's a very basic, simple chapter. You can simply read it from the NCERT. You don't need anyone else to teach you that. If you are learning it from someone, you are just wasting your time. The mole concept part of it, we will do after this particular chapter. ठीक है? Cool? चलो. तो अभी isotopes के बारे में समझते हैं थोड़ा. Okay? Let's try to understand what's this relative abundance. People, let's say there are 10 students in one class. Okay? Students के नाम हैं A B C D E F G H I J. ठीक है जी, 10 स्टूडेंट हो गए ना. So we have 10 students in one class. Their names are A B C D E F G H I J. Very fancy names. Now there was a test and these people got marks. ठीक है, marks कैसे आए? These people got marks something like this. Okay, A got 5 marks, B got 5 marks, C got 5 marks, D got 5 marks, E also got 5 marks, F got 10 marks, or चलो 10 लगा लेते for simplicity of calculation. Okay, G also got 5 marks, H got 10 marks, I got 10 marks, and J also got 5 marks. Now, my dear friends, if I tell you to calculate the average marks of the class, yeah, how will you calculate it? Average marks कैसे calculate करोगे? How will you calculate the average mass in this particular case? Add these up and divide by 10. Yeah, average marks अगर निकालना है, add these up and divide by 10. So how many times do we have 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. सेवन हो गए ना, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, अच्छा 7. Yeah, मस्त एकदम. Why am I teaching you basic mathematics? You will get to know very soon. Yeah, and then I have to add the tens. 3 times 10. Yeah, divide this entire thing with 10. But do you agree that this is the dumbest method to do this question? This doesn't make sense. What I can simply do, instead of writing it like this, I can write it like this: 7 times 5 plus 3 times 10 divided by 10. ये कर दूंगा ना, it's much more simple to do it this way. है ना जी? Did you see? 7 times 5 plus 3 times 10 divided by 10 आ जाएगा आंसर 6.5 as you're saying. Fine. This is a much more intelligent way of doing it. What just happened over here? यहां पे हुआ क्या है? They were saying why 7 times. अरे भाई गिन लेना मेरे दोस्त. Davis bro, count. 7 times 5 plus 3 times 10 because there are 7 5s and 3 10s. Yeah? Fine? This is how we can write it. अच्छा. अब मैं इस फॉर्मूले में थोड़ी मैनिपुलेशन करता हूँ. Okay? I'll manipulate this formula a little and then we'll try to see something very interesting over here. Can I write it as 70 into 5 plus 30 into 10 divided by 100? Of course I can. Yeah, of course I can. I'll write it in one more way and you tell me what I'm doing. Okay, you tell me what I'm doing. मैं यहाँ लिखता हूँ 70 by 100 into 5 plus same thing I'm writing in a different manner. 70 by 100 into 5 plus 30 by 100 into 10. This is the average. Average marks, it can be written in multiple ways. Answer is the same, of course. You can write it straightforward, or you can write it a little bit intelligently, or you can manipulate it and make it right like this. Do you see what I have here? I have percentages, isn't it? Over here in the class, I can also write that 70% of students, okay, got 5 marks and 30% of students got 10 marks. So how will I calculate the average? I can calculate the average by saying 70% into 5 plus 30% into 10, and this is my average. We are done. Yeah. This is a better way of calculating the average instead of writing the entire thing down. Chamke? Understood? This is done. Fine. Have a look at it. How did we calculate the average? The percentage into the marks plus percentage into marks. Okay, and you can complicate this if you want. Yeah, the 10% student got 2 marks, 5% student got 6 marks, 20% student got 7 marks, etc., etc. In order to calculate the average, just take the percentage, multiply with the number, add it up. As simple as that. Okay? So if there is another example, okay, if there is another example, कुछ तो घटिया सा लेते हैं, that 10% students got 10 marks, 20% students got 50 marks. ये पता नहीं क्यों 10 नंबर लाए बेचारे. But yeah, 70% students got 20 marks. So what will be the average? Average कितना आएगा? Average will simply be 10% into 10. Yeah, 10% into 10 plus 20% into 50 plus 70% into 20. Yeah, this will be the average. इससे average आ गया आपका. Fine. We've understood it from a very simple example and we've taken it to a complicated example. The average marks of the class will be percentage into marks plus percentage into marks plus percentage into marks. Done. Okay. Now let us go back to chlorine. If you are a researcher, okay, let's say you're a scientist and you're like, I want to take out chlorine from the earth. Somehow you're doing it, okay? I don't know why, but you're taking out chlorine from the earth. And you finally take out this amount of chlorine from the earth, okay? This block of chlorine you got from the earth. Okay? This block of chlorine you got from the earth. Now, some other scientist has already done experiments on it and he's like, okay, out of all the chlorine present in the universe, 75% of it has mass number 35. 25% of it has mass number 37. Okay. So in this particular block, 25% of the chlorine, okay, this is a block of chlorine, fine, but 25% of this chlorine has mass number 37, okay. 75% of this particular block has mass number 35. Mass number is what? Mass number is what? Mass number is actually equal to number of neutrons plus number of protons. And I told you the mass of these are pretty much the same. Yeah. So what was the mass of them? The mass was 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kilograms. Yeah. We can try and think about the mass in these terms in kilograms, but that is pointless. Yeah. I can't even measure this on a kilogram scale. So let's call this 1 atomic mass unit. These many kilograms is just 1 atomic mass unit. Okay, fine. So approximately speaking, okay, this is again approximate because the mass of the proton and neutron is slightly different. Okay, and this is not how atomic mass unit is defined. We'll define it some other day. But this is approximately equal to 1 atomic mass unit. So if there is, let's say, oxygen which contains 16 nucleons in it, can I say that the mass of oxygen is approximately equal to 16 atomic mass units? And this approximation is good for us. Okay, ठीक है, ये हो गया. So over here, 25% of the chlorine that I have has 37 atomic mass unit. And 75% of the chlorine has 35 atomic mass units. Can you tell me what is the average atomic mass? And in chemistry, we don't differentiate between mass and weight. Oh, it's the same thing for us. Okay. अब मेरे को ये बताओ. Now tell me what is the average atomic mass of chlorine? Quickly, please. Yeah. Now Surya is saying, sir, why? Acha. Surya is talking about someone else. Okay, fine. Nitin is saying, sir, yeah, Nitin. So Nitin says, I tell everyone not to study the first chapter. Also me, I'm teaching you how to calculate averages. Yeah, well, depends on Depends on what we are doing. Yeah. Artist mind is saying how they weigh the weight of the electron. We don't count it when we are talking about the atom, but I have told you about Millikan's oil drop experiment. You read about it a little bit. And J.J. Thompson's experiments. ठीक है, वो देख लेना एक बारी. The two assignments that I've given to you. Fine. चलो, तो यहाँ पे कैसे करेंगे? Calculate average atomic mass. I will simply do 75%. Okay, or you want to do 25 first, it's fine, whatever. Yeah, 75% into 35, okay, plus 25% into 37. Add these two up, you will get your answer. The answer will come out to be what? Answer कितना आ जाएगा? What's the answer over here, people? What does it come out to be? Batao. Did you understand the methodology? That is what matters the most. Yeah. To be able to get the answer over here is not very important. To understand the methodology is the most important thing over here. Yeah. Got it? आ गया आंसर? ठीक है. Almost everyone is giving me the correct answer. Very good job. This is 35.5. बढ़िया. मजे करो. Now, a lot of you are like, sir, you could have simply told us about this. Why did you go through? Why did you go to Jupiter first and then come back and told us about relative abundance? Because now, if I say that this is called relative abundance, it's not very difficult for you to understand, isn't it? Yeah. Relative means one with respect to the other. This is 25%, this is 75%. Yeah. With respect to the entire mass of chlorine. Relative. Abundance means how much of it do you have? Yeah. Relative abundance. How much of something do you have with respect to the other? With respect to the total mass of chlorine, this one is 75%, this one is 25%. And how to calculate the average atomic mass now becomes a very simple idea. Got it? It becomes a very simple idea. So I have a question for you, okay? We'll do that question and then we'll move on to other things. Don't worry, I'll come back to these slides. I'm just looking for that particular question. Okay? Ye karo. Okay, let's do this question. Now that I've explained you about relative abundance, etc., let's try to solve this particular question. Take a minute, try to do it yourself, then I will come back and do it for you. Karke dekho. Naturally occurring boron consists of 80% 11b, okay, where the nuclide mass, which means that the mass of the nucleus, which is mass of neutrons plus protons, is equal to 11.01. And 20% of it is some other isotope. To account for the atomic weight of 10.81, what must be the nuclide mass of the other isotope? Think about it. Then we'll solve it. Okay? It's a good question. Jaswant, when we'll solve questions on the log, you'll get to understand that. It's not a very difficult thing, so don't worry about it. Okay? Yes, don't worry, I will explain the question to you. First of all, try to understand the question. It's just worded in English a little different. Try to write things down and we will solve it. Don't worry. Narsimha, I have the chat box in front of me, so I don't get bored. Hitesh, very good job, man. Hitesh, that is brilliant. Hitesh, approximately correct, but that's fine. Sai, very nice. Sai, Imadi Seti, maja aa gaya bhai. Praveen, very good job, yaar. Sai and Praveen. Hitesh also gave the answer, very close answer, not exactly correct, but I think Sai and Praveen are getting the correct answer. Sapna, what? NCRT material, previous year questions enough for JEE Advanced. Sapna, you have to do a lot of mock test solving as well, then it is definitely good for you. Okay. Chalo ji, kare. How do we do this question? Listen to me carefully. A lot of you got it. Very good job. For those of you who did not understand, do not feel bad. I will explain it to you. Okay. So what we are saying is there are two isotopes of boron. Isotope number 1 has 80% relative abundance. Okay. And the mass of it is equal to 11.01. ठीक है जी. At the same time, I'm saying that there is isotope number 2. Of course, if this is 80%, that would be 20%. Yeah, they भी रखा है इन्होंने. Otherwise, it's not useful information. I mean, they need not mention 20%. Yeah, because if they're saying there are only 2 isotopes, then the other has to be 20%. Fine. And the mass over here, we don't know. This is question mark. Let's call it X. Okay. What is given to us that the average mass is equal to 10.81. Again, in chemistry, we'll use mass weight interchangeably. We don't really differentiate because we are chemists. Physics may, of course, mass and weight mean different things. Okay? Can we just write the equation and get the answer? 80% into the mass of the first isotope plus 20% into the mass of the other isotope is equal to 10.81. Please calculate X. That is your question. Kar lo calculate. Aa gaya answer. Oh. Genius is saying, do quantum numbers come under this chapter? Yes, they do. Eventually, we will get to that. ठीक है जी, मजा आया? Yeah? Fun? Just calculate X. X कितना आ रहा है भाई? Can anyone do some accurate calculation? Approximate is fine. 10.0 something आ जाएगा. Okay? 10.01 I think is the answer. But yeah, if you are getting 10.0 something, that's fine. That's good. Okay? Because the calculation is a little tricky and it will take time. Multiplying 0.8 into 11.01, you might lose, one digit here and there. It's okay. 10.0 something अगर आपका आंसर आ रहा है, it means that you've understood the concept properly. Calculation, keep on improving later. Okay? 10.01 के आसपास आना चाहिए. It would be 10.01 approximately. But if you understand the logic behind this question, brilliant. Yeah? Now did you understand why I spent so much time talking about relative abundance, giving you the example of students, etc.? Because now you can solve such weird questions as well. Congratulations, people. Congratulations. Hello is asking, sir, kab tak hai class? It's another 5-10 minutes, bro. I thought I would be able to do the history of the atom today as well, but we can't do it today because we are spending more time on this. It's fine. We'll do it in the next class. Okay? Maza aa gaya bhai. Fun. Now let's go back and learn a few more definitions. Okay? There are a couple of more definitions that I have to tell you. So you know about isotopes. You know about relative abundance of isotopes. I am pretty sure you guys know about the isotopes of hydrogen. Yes. Isotopes of hydrogen are called protium, deuterium, pronounce it however you want, sound as fancy as you want. And then you've got tritium. Some people call it tritium. Okay, there's tritium. All right. And this guy over here is radioactive. Okay. Not in a very harmful manner. If there is a lot of it, then harmful. But this is radioactive. Okay. It tends to decay into smaller pieces of hydrogen. Okay. So protium, deuterium, tritium, and by the mass number, I think you understand what's the difference. The number of neutrons is different. No neutron, 1 neutron, 2 neutrons. Okay. What's the difference between the mass and the mass number. Can you guys tell me? Can you guys tell me what's the exact difference between the mass and the mass number? Sunil is saying, as all elements have these electrons, protons and neutrons, and they all have same properties irrespective of materials, what differentiates these materials and their properties? Sunil, I'll give you a hint, okay? Go to the kitchen and try to take sugar, salt, you take some oil or ghee, and you take some atta, wheat flour, yeah? And you try to combine them in different ratios. In one case, you put 1 cup atta, 1 teaspoon sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, and 1 teaspoon of ghee. Mix it, see what you will get. In other case, take only 1 teaspoon atta, take 1 cup of ghee, 1 cup of salt, 1 cup of sugar, see what you get. Are these two things different? Even though the constituent ingredients were the same in both these cases, what you get eventually are things that are exactly different from each other. So that's how the nature works, man. It's not just about what is going into your recipe, it's about how much of it are you putting in the recipe. Depending on how many protons, how many neutrons, how many electrons, you have such a wide variety of elements available to you. ठीक है जी? Vineet, that is really good, man. Congratulations. बहुत बढ़िया. Sheikh is saying, how were you able to solve HCV during your preparation? Sitting in one place and doing this. Just read it and solve it, man. Chalo ji, batao. Understood? So mass, okay? Mass is essentially the actual mass of the atom. ठीक है? So you have to count the exact mass of the protons, the exact mass of the neutrons, the exact mass of the electrons, and add it together to get the exact mass of the atom. Okay? You have to get the exact mass of the atom. On the other hand, mass number is just a number. It's just a number. It's a number where you add the number of neutrons to the number of protons. This is approximately equal to the actual mass. ठीक है जी? Actual mass is the actual mass of the atom. Neutrons plus protons, the number is approximately equal to the mass of the atom in atomic mass units. ठीक है? Understood the difference? Mass, mass number, different things. These two are approximately equal in atomic mass units. Two more things that I have to tell you, and then we will end today's class. Okay? Isobars. What are isobars? Elements with the same mass number but with different atomic number are called isobars. Okay? So mass number is the same. Protons plus neutrons same, but the atomic number is different. For instance, this is a series of isobars. Okay? 40 sulfur, 40 chlorine, 40 argon, 40 potassium, and 40 calcium. These are all isobars of each other. Of course, we are not taking standard isotopes of everything over here, but this is something that you can have in the laboratory. Okay, so all these have different atomic number, but the number of protons plus neutrons is the same in all of them. You call them isobars. Okay, fine. So please write down this example. And a lot of you will say, sir, please give us PDF notes of the class. I don't believe in doing that. I don't believe in spoon feeding you. I am not going to write your examination. Please make your own notes. You will be able to revise from it much, much better. Understand? ठीक है जी. Just one, thank you so much, man. And people who are enjoying this class, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel, because we will do the entire syllabus of chemistry over here. If you're not subscribed, then do that. Manaswini for KVPY, okay, I'll try to take a session soon. ठीक है जी, ये हो गया isobars, fine, done. Now comes isotones. Tone has a neutron in it. Tone में there is an N, isn't it? Isotone. N stands for neutrons. So the same number of neutrons. That's just a way to remember it, okay? Because there are too many isos. Isotopes, you know what it is. Isobars, protons plus neutrons. Isotones, only neutrons. Same N, yeah, fine. Anyway, so the elements with same number of neutrons are called isotones. Yeah, there are some examples given over here. Yeah, 40 minus 20 is equal to 37 minus 17. That is the number of neutrons. 23 minus 11 is equal to 24 minus 12. That's equal to the number of neutrons. ठीक है जी, खत्म, chill. You can take down these examples if you want. Yeah. Someone is asking, so what are isomers? Isomers are something that we will learn about in organic chemistry. Okay. Soumya, two things. I will start that on the Plus platform very soon, okay, from General Organic Chemistry. So you can join Plus in case you want to attend my class and class of a lot of other educators. Apart from that, it's already available on YouTube. You can check it out. Just one thing saying, literally you covered this in one lecture, but my teacher took 3 days to do it. I know, bro. Okay, so this is isotones. I hope you've taken down the example. And then you have isoelectronic species. This is the last thing that I will teach you today. Isoelectronic species are ions which have the same number of electrons. Okay. For example, O2 negative, F negative. Okay. ठीक है. इसके साथ और क्या क्या आ सकता है? You have sodium positive. You have magnesium 2 positive. ठीक है जी? You could have neon as well. All of these have the same number of electrons, isn't it? 10 electrons. Yeah. Fine. So, the ions or atoms which have the same number of electrons are known as isoelectronic species. Yeah. We don't call them isoelectronic ions because there is an atom over here which is neutral. We don't call them isoelectronic atoms because there are ions. So we just call them isoelectronic species. Things that have the same number of electrons in them. Okay, as simple as that. Devis Patel is saying, is this class important for JEE? Absolutely yes. Why else would I be taking it? And just please read the title of the class. Yeah. Manaswini is saying, should we remember the example? Not necessary. Remember the isoelectronic species, pretty obvious, I think. The rest of them, if you don't remember, it's fine. It's okay. Jagmeet Singh is saying, is Anavasti a good book for physical chemistry? It is the best. Okay. ठीक है जी, बढ़िया, चलो ये हो गया. So now people, let me give you a glimpse of what we will do in the next class. Next class is on Friday at 7 p.m. Okay, please make sure you join it. We will solve some questions. Okay. We will be solving some questions in that class. Fine. I have shown you all these questions in the last 10 seconds. You can go to those questions, pause the video over there and solve those questions. That is something that you can do if you're actually dedicated for solving these questions. YouTube, this video will be available. Watch that. And then we will talk a little bit about the J.J. Thomson's model and Ernest Rutherford's model. A little bit about Rutherford's alpha scattering experiment. What were the results, etc., etc. This is what we will talk about in the upcoming class. Fine. That will take only half an hour. For the next half an hour, we will talk about the atomic spectrum. Okay? Fine. So, that is what is upcoming for today, for the next class. That is on Friday at 7 p.m. Please make sure you join the Unacademy test series in case you want to practice more questions. Coupon code is PAHUL. And the same code applies for the Plus subscription at Unacademy. This is the offer going on right now. 1 year subscription pay, 3 months are free, and 2 year subscription pay, 4 months are free. You have lots of educators. I've already told you about the benefits of Plus subscription. In case you want that, use the code PAHUL for the maximum discount. These are the prices. Fine. Kavi is saying, how many lectures would this chapter go? I'm estimating somewhere around 10 lectures. Okay. Others, yes, the code is working. Okay. Chalo. People, that's it from my side. Thank you so much for joining in. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Stay subscribed. I will see you guys on Friday at 7 p.m. Until next time. Take care.